How you guys doing? We're in the backyard. Probably the last place you figured you guys would see me this year, huh? Look at that sky. Not very nice today. Kind of overcast. It's cold enough that obviously I'm bundled up, but that's not the reason we're out here. That is the reason we're out here. That's figward. That is my Chicago hardy fig that I bought as a little 12-inch long sapling. I've had him for a couple of years now, and I haven't done any pruning, so he grew way out of control. So let me show you what I did and explain it, and then I'll show you where we're going with this video. All right, so this is figward. Like I said, he's a Chicago hardy fig, okay? And if you look down here, you can see I've cut off a bunch of branches. I have done no pruning to this up until this point, okay? So this main branch is as thick as my finger. All right, so we've cut those off. Just keep those in mind, okay? And then I've cut off the main leader that grew out of the center, and I have cut these back to, about 14 inches long. And the whole point of doing that, okay, is okay, so let me backtrack. It's fall, okay, and figward is going dormant for the winter. Figs only grow on new wood, okay? So this is old wood, obviously, right, from this season, and probably actually, and from last season too. So what we've done is we've had to cut figward back so that over the winter, and then next year, all this will sprout new wood from all of the nodes that grow around the ends of these cuts. Okay? So, the plan is we pruned him now so we have fruit for next year, because if we didn't prune him, this thing was 6 feet tall. He was way up to here, and I didn't want to have to try and harvest figs from wood way up there. I didn't want to have a ladder or have to bend his branches down. All right, so that is what's left of figward. He's going to go into my house for the winter time. Going to pull all these weeds out and stuff, but he's going to go into my house for the winter time, and he's just going to hang out in my living room. And then this is my recycle box. We had my son's birthday party last night, so they filled it in. But what we are going to do today is, you see that? That's a new growth shoot coming out of the top. We are going to take all these branches out of my recycle box, and we're going to propagate. See? Done for the season. We are going to propagate 5 new fig plants for next year, and then we're going to have 5 brand new plants growing. So I got to dig all this out, and then we'll carry on. So to propagate the figs, we're going to be using these, the juice bottles, all right? Because when you're propagating figs, you can either do it in water or you can do it in soil. And normally when you're propagating figs and you're using long branches, they use these things called tree tubes, and it's basically a little pot, but it's only about 4 inches round and 10 inches long. But I don't have those. But I do have a bunch of these. So, got a new knife, by the way. Cold steel, Recon 1, spear point. So what we're going to do, basically, we're just going to take this bottle, we're going to give it about 10 inches from the top, or from the bottom, and we are going to, back off. And we're just going to make our own tree tubes. Tree tube. All right, I got 5 more of these to make. And then all we're going to do is going to take the bottom, going to put some drain holes in the bottom. Thor, back off, bud. Can you guys even see that? Hang on, we'll do a couple more. They don't have to be pretty. They just gotta work, right? Drain holes. I'll do 4 more. All right, well, I figure we're gonna finish up the rest of this video in the greenhouse. Why not? It's gonna be our first project for the winter. So we're all set up here. All right, so I gotta gather up a couple materials and I'll show you what we got. All right, so because we're gonna start these off inside, we're going with a potting mix. I was gonna use the sunshine mix that I normally use to do all my potted plants, but there's not enough added fertilizer into it. And so I'm gonna go with Pro Mix for potting soil. And we're just gonna pour some right in the bucket, right at my feet. That's probably enough. All right, so, and what's the #1 rule when you're potting up plants? Never use dry soil. Well, potting mix, whatever you want to label this as. So we're going to bust up these clumps. And we're going with the Pro Mix because it's got mycorrhizal spores in it and it already has built-in fertilizer. All right, so I think we probably have enough soil there. So I'm going to wet this down because you never plant in dry material. We've got our Pro Mix all moistened. And I've got 6 of these juice bottles. I've punched holes in the bottom. And we're going to fill them up about 3/4 of the way. Right? So I've just got a container off to the side. So I'll get the rest of these filled and we'll carry on. All right, so here's our cuttings off the fig tree. Okay, so just show you guys what we're working with here because I'm going to set up a little workstation here, but just so you know, this is where it's coming from. So basically, what we're going to do is we are looking for, we are looking for branches about 16 inches long, give or take, ones like this, right? So we're going to take one of these. What we're looking for, guys, is that growth tip right there. That's what we're looking for. So I'm just going to take a knife, cut this on a 45-degree angle, just like that. Okay. Whoop. And that's what we're going to propagate our fig from. So here's our bucket. And this is what they're going to stay in for a while. So all we're going to do is we're going to take this. We're just going to push it right down. It's hit bottom now. Now all we're going to do is we're just going to pull it up, you know, an inch or so from the bottom. Pack this down, but not hard because we are trying to grow roots out of this. There we go. One fig. Let's just do them all. All right. Okay, so here's the pieces. Grab your pruners. Look for the ones that you're going to use, right? Give it a snip on about a 45-degree angle. 1. We're going to go with this big boy. Like I said, remember, we're looking for these growth tips. So how it works with figs is figs only grow figs, like a fig tree will only grow figs on the fresh green wood. See? On this season's new wood. So that's why you want to trim your figs, and then it's going to put out new wood every year for you. See? Like I said, we're doing it on a 45. This one here. And this looks like, we're going to use this one too, because I like the look of that one. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This is it, guys. There's really not a whole lot to planting figs. There's a couple of ways that fig growers do this. I am not a fig grower. This is my first time propagating figs, but it's not complicated. Take fig, branch, put into soil. Some people do this in water, and they root them in water. Other people, like you can even, so right, this is a node right here, right? Internodal spacing and node. Some fig growers will actually just use this chunk of wood, and then they'll just dip this end in wax, and then this itself will make a fig tree, and then there's another fig tree, and then there's another fig. See? So from one tree, you can grow a hell of a lot of figs, especially when you have to trim your fig trees every year. See, look at this one. So it's going to put out a leaf from here, here, and here. I have high hopes for this one. And like I mentioned before, these are from a Chicago hardy fig. So we're not packing that down very hard, mostly just the top to stop it from wobbling. And then we get out our custom-made water bottle. You guys have been following me. You can recognize this from last year. So all we're going to do is give this a watering, and we're going to put it on the center of the bucket before it falls off and makes a big mess on my floor in the greenhouse. There. You guys can't see that too well. There, a little better. So we're basically just going to water these in. I'm going to be firing up the greenhouse any day now. So in the meantime, these are just going to go in my window with my house plants, and they can start to grow there, which is probably a good thing for them, because being in that window temporarily is a low stress environment, right? It's not under the great big bright LED lights. So that's it. We're not trying to soak these. We're just trying to get the moisture all the way through. So there is all of our figs. And I'm hoping I have good success. I might even actually, because I've got, so look, I've got my big fat hands in the way. I've got those ends I can cut off. I've got more down here, and I have more down here I haven't even touched. So I might actually, how much room we got left? I might actually go find a couple of more containers and cut some more figs. Because I mean, if I've got them, I might as well do it. So in the future, I'm not going to do it on camera, but in the future, if you notice that there's more than 6 growing, that's because I found more containers. Well, guys, that's literally it to figs. Some people will slice the bottom, some people don't. I've watched a bunch of these fig propagating videos, and they all seem to be different, and they all seem to have a pretty good success rate. So I'm just literally just going to do it like this. And if a couple of them grow, fantastic. And these will not be planted in the ground yet, not till I get to the homestead. So we're preemptively starting all of these. What I am going to do is when these are ready for transplanting, which will be, I'm going to keep these in the containers until springtime. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to transplant these figs into individual 5-gallon buckets, and they're going to live their remainder of their potted life in 5-gallon buckets until we move to the homestead. And then they will be part of the orchard that I'm going to grow, and they'll just be planted in the ground, probably like 10 feet apart, or whatever I end up choosing for the distance. So in the meantime, we're going to try growing figs. Hope you guys like this one. It's the first video we've done in the greenhouse this year besides cleaning up. It's going to be lots more content in here. I already have most of my seed order delivered for this coming year, and I'm going to put in another seed order for, you know, your general stuff like your basil and your jalapeno peppers and whatever. So lots more content coming in this greenhouse. Grow your food, guys. Set up a greenhouse like this. Super easy to do, not overly expensive. I mean, it's Black Friday, so if you guys are thinking of doing an indoor setup like this, now is the time to be buying your lights, right? You can get Spider Farmer or Mars Hydro or Flizzin or whatever brand you choose to go with. Now is the time to buy your lights, like today. All right, so keep that in mind. Hope this helps. And I will keep you up to date on these figs. When they start leafing out, I'll do another up-to-date video so you guys can see the progress. So, grow good food. Have an awesome day. I'll see you later.